Thank you again for joining for this Daily Bread Bible Study episode, continuing on in Jeremiah 1 chapter 49 for day 231, Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. Last time we discussed judgment upon Moab, a long-standing enemy of the Israelites, and today we discuss another people, the Ammonites. Jeremiah, the prophet, is going to talk about the judgment of the Ammonites. But before we get there, let's remind ourselves of some history. Going back to the book of Genesis, around chapter 19, maybe a little earlier than that too, Abraham had a nephew named Lot, who lived in the area around Sodom and Gomorrah, and he went to visit Lot and essentially to rescue him. Now, Lot's children had been influenced by this morally scrupulous town, leading to his two daughters, after they escaped, his two daughters sleeping with their father. These two daughters had two sons in Genesis 19. The first was named Moab, the ancestor of the Moabites, and the second was Ben-Ami, which is the ancestor of the Ammonites that we will talk about here. Now, on several occasions, the descendants of Abraham and Lot fight. In the eyes of the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, the Moabites and Ammonites, descendants of Lot, they are immoral, aggressive, and ungodly. Thus, speaking critically of these people is justified in their eyes. This is why, in part, Jeremiah 46 spends time judging the Ammonites. In verse 2 of Jeremiah 49, Israel shall dispossess those who dispossessed him, says the Lord, in reference to the Ammonites. So just remember that the Ammonites and the Israelites fought. The Israelites came out of slavery in Egypt towards the Promised Land, and they were called to take over the Promised Land. Thus, there was always fighting going on with people of the nations, which they did not completely drive out, including the Ammonites. We see that even though there is fighting, yet after a humbling time for the Ammonites, God will restore the fortunes of even the Ammonites, even the enemies of Israel. Similarly, we see Edom, descendants of Israel's brother Esau. They receive judgment. In Jeremiah 49, verse 16, "Although you make your nest as high as an eagle's, from there I will bring you down, says the Lord." Now, while the Ammonites saw that they would have their fortunes restored, there is no restoration mentioned for Edom here. Finally, for today, even though it's a short day and going briefly and quickly through chapter 49, Damascus is also judged. Now, at this moment in time, I don't see a connection between Damascus and Babylon necessarily. It seems like they're separated in some sense here. But similar words of judgment are used upon Damascus, and even places like Kedar and Hazor and Elam are judged, with Elam, the only one of those, being promised to have their fortunes restored. So, as we talked about previously, all of these oppositional forces to the Israelites, probably people who were even actively opposing them as Jerusalem was being overthrown, all these will have some judgment and destruction coming upon them as well. So here we go. That's all we have for today. I look forward to talking about Jeremiah more next time.